Hi guys, so in today's video what I'm going to cover is the trades we took in TNS. Now it's a funny day, to be honest with you. It's been an emotional day, it's dragged out, but we eventually got there. And straight after we got there, news hit and price just completely reversed. But let me show you how it played out today. So top-down analysis. What we've done, as we start every TNS, we start off with a top-down analysis. Okay. Now, when we were going through our top-down analysis, is what we've noticed is that the weekly had closed respect in this area here. Okay. Now, it's closed below this area, so this weekly could actually still flip to the downside. But also, the weekly had closed below, back into the range from 1919.69. So we are bullish on the weekly, but we do know that this weekly can flip at any moment because the previous week closed respect in this area. Okay. Then when we went down to the daily time frame, it was a sort of similar situation. The daily had broke the highs, okay, but closed respecting this little support over here. So we could have got a pullback at that point. When this daily was pushing up, the thing what we noticed about this daily, these two dailies, is neither of them have got much of a bottom wick. And what you tend to get on candles is you get a top and a bottom wick. So what we were thinking is the daily had pushed up and it started pulling back. And the reason we knew we started pulling back because we had a 4-hour and 1-hour close to the downside. So we were actually looking at sells at this point, thinking that this daily is going to flip to the downside to create a steeper wick, a wick at the bottom of this 4-hour candle. So that's why we're looking at sells at the moment. Now, yes, it is bullish. We're heavily bullish on the weekly and the daily, but just because that daily didn't have a bottom wick, we were trying to catch that pullback, which we did get there in the end. Okay. Now it is a scalping method, Meraki, so we can get in. Yes, we want to go off the daily, but we can get in on pullbacks also. So let me show you and break this trade down for you. So what had happened is we had an hourly close below these zones. Okay, and what we found is this area from here to here is what we call a clean traffic area. Price tends to fly through this area on the hourly. It also does it on the 5 minutes and also on the 15 minutes. It flies through that area. So a lovely clean traffic area. So we had an hour break to the low. So what we've done, we had a pullback. Now, if we got a pullback to 1936, our pullback area, we would have moved stops, sell stops, to the body of the hourly candle what's moving now. But because we didn't tap that zone yet, we just put it to the low, okay? And what happened is it didn't take us too long to get activated, from what I remember, okay? So going down to the lower time frame, this is the 5-minute time frame. As you can see, it didn't take us too long for price to come back down and activate our trade. So we're in sells on this one, and this is just off an hour breakout. That's what we're going off on this. Our take partial move to break even was round the 10 pips mark. Which what we normally do. Around the 10 pips mark, we take partial move to break even here. Our target was in around the 1929 area, but we know that price on the 15 tends to come down to 1930, 32. So we were in sells on this one. Now, price did drive about 4-5 pips for a bit and then came back into the area. But what we realized is, as you can see, we've had a double nest play on the 5 minutes, right? So we got a double nest play on the 5 minute. When you get a nest play, it's a sign of price struggling to push back up into that zone. So what we done is I actually added a second position because that was a bit more confirmation that price is going to push down. And as you can see, all we done is we put another sell stop to the low, and we were expecting this candle to come straight down and drive through. As you see, we've been activated. So we've now got 2 trades on this position. Now, after some time in this trade, as you can see, price never actually tapped. We've moved our take partial move to break even to the bottom wick of this, but it was on the previous blue line. Now, what we found is price was coming down to these areas and just wicking straight back up. As you can see, price coming down, rejecting, back down, rejecting, another push, back down, rejecting. So what we were saying to ourselves is we're really struggling to break below this level here. So what I said to myself is, on all the time frames, really, on all the times, we're still bearish because only the 5 minute is giving us breaks to the high, but then you're coming back into the ranges. But what was happening is on the 15 minutes, 30 minutes, we were getting fake outs back to the downside, breakouts back to the downside, okay, and we were getting nest plays, and sometimes we were even getting double nest plays, which is loads of confirmation that price wants to push down. Now, what we learned and what we knew from previous data, price does tend to come and tap 1933. Every time price breaks below 1935.22, price eventually taps 1933.64. Okay, so it's just a case of when is it going to tap. But remember, we've got two positions on this now. And when you're seeing this, it basically means that we've got direction because we're getting all these breaks to the low, these nest plays, these fake outs to the top upside, and then coming back into the ranges. But what we haven't got is volume. And two things we need for Meraki: direction and volume. And we haven't really got volume. And the reason why we think we haven't got volume is because news, CPI, which is a high impact news, is on at 1:30 today. Okay, now we did not want to be stuck in this trade at 1:30, and we were coming close to that time. So we're really starting to think, okay, we haven't got the volume to push down. Where can we start doing our risk management and look to get out the trade? And the first place we got out of the trade was the next time price pushed into break even. Okay, we were looking at closing one trade out and let the other one rock to its take partial, move to break even. So I'll see if, there you go. So this is what happened. So as you can see, price comes down. If you look at the profit on the left hand side, we closed one of the trades. It wasn't for much. I think it was only for about $63. Came into profit, and then we closed. Oh, there we go. Come into profit. We still didn't make it down to our take partial, move to break even. But at that point, we just wanted to get one trade out because we know volume we were lacking at this moment in time. So we just closed one trade. We didn't move the other trade to safety because I did feel like this could break to the low. All we needed was a 5 minute close below this point, and price should be pushing to at least our take partial, move to break even. At that, down in 1933.64. But you can see price here, it's still not tapping this take partial, move to break even. Our original take partial, move to break even was here. Okay, and this is where I sort of wanted to tap with this first trade. So we've only got one trade in this now. We've took $60 odd out of this trade, which is not too bad. So let's see if I can speed it up so I can show you what happened. As you can see, the fives pulled back. Yeah, you're still close below this zone, so you're still in this zone, so price should still be coming down. And I believe we go back into the range from what I remember. So we've only got one trade left in this. What happened at this point? Now we had another confirmation. Because we knew this was a clean traffic zone, we knew price could drive and fly through here. We didn't really want to miss the move. So what we had, our next higher time frame candle, was we had a 30-minute close. Okay, and the 30-minute close and broke the lows of this area. So what we were thinking, well, we don't really need to pull back on the 30-minute. We could just drive straight away from this 30. So now that we've only got one trade, we've only got one trade back at risk. The most we'll ever risk per, depending on our risk management, per sort of trading session is 2 trades at once. I can't go more than 2 trades at once because of my risk of what I risk. Okay, that down to my risk management, I'm happy to lose 2 trades a day. I don't lose any sleep over losing them 2 trades, so I'm happy. That's the max of trades I will ever risk at any one time. But I'll only ever take 2 trades on the same setup, and this basically is the same setup. So you still got all the lower time frame setups, the nest plays, the breakouts, and things like that. We've now just had a higher time frame breakout, so we've had a 30-minute breakout. So what I've decided is I'm actually going to re-enter on this because I believe that the next 30 could drive from here. So that's sort of what we've done. So what we've done is got a pending underneath the 30, and I believe it didn't take us very long to get activated on this one. So we had a pending underneath this 30. We got activated pretty quickly. As you can see, it just came on. Our stops were up in these levels. You can see me adjust them shortly. Yep. Up in 1937, 38 levels. And what I've done is I brought my first trade stops down to the same level. Okay, because if price came up there, we weren't even interested in the first trade anymore. So that's what we did do. So we've got, again, we're back to 2 trades on this. So this is our 3rd entry on this trade. So as you can see, our sell stops got activated fairly quickly. Now our take partial move to break even, I did actually push it back down because what I was thinking is we've came back up, we've picked some liquidity up, and hopefully that's enough now to drive through to create lower lows and make it to our take partial move to break even area. And that's what we're waiting to do. So we've now got 2 trades on this, and we're currently hoping that we push through, hoping we've got some volume now to push through to these zones. Now, again, sometime later, we didn't push down to our take partial move to break even, and we're getting very close to news, and we did not want to be in this trade when news happens. Okay, what we identified is price was really struggling to break this low. But we were adamant that once we got a 5-minute close below this, we would definitely pop down to our take partial move to break even. I'm at 1933.64. So it was just a case of waiting for us to pop down and get a 5-minute close below there. Now the way we wanted to manage risk is if we got closes above these levels at 1934. We sort of didn't want these closes to happen in this time, especially close to news, so we would be looking to manage risk. And the way you do that is when you get a higher time frame close, like a 15, close above, you then wait for a pullback on the 15, close out your trades, and then because you're expecting the 15 to then flip to the upside. Now, if you just watch this 5-minute, this is how much, when I say it was a tough day, it was a pretty tough day, especially for the guys watching on our TNS. So we were hoping that this 5 would be the closing candle below, and then the next 5 would just drive through. Now we've got 1 minute 40 left on this. Now if I just speed this up, you can see this 5 actually looks good. It's got some momentum pushing down to the downside. And literally what happens at the end of this, I think it was the last 3 seconds, this candle just pulls back and closes back in that range. What we did say is if we get a close below, we're good. If we get closes above, then we're looking to start managing risk and looking to how can we get out of these trades. And as you can see, the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. As you can see, it's just pulled back into the zone. So when you get mornings like this is just proving that there's no volume for us. There's no volume because news is coming up and people are just not there bringing in that volume. Okay, so at this time we thought, okay, let's wait and see the next 5, see if we break to the low on the next 5 and see if that can be the driving one. Now, as you can see, the next 5 actually closed respecting this area, and then this 5 pushed up. And as you can imagine, normal people would be looking at that and panicking, thinking, oh my god, price is shooting up. Because it did shoot up pretty quickly up these zones. But you've got 1 minute left of this 5 minute, and as you can see, within that 1 minute, the candle actually drops, pulls back, and actually flips to the downside. Like so. So you've got 22 seconds left. As you can see, this 5's been up, flip to the downside, and starting to push to our take partial move to break even. So in one 5 minute candle, it went from, oh my god, we're looking to manage risk and get out of this trade, to actually our take partial move to break even is getting hit, and we're looking to get safe on this trade. Now at this point, what I did do, I did close one trade in full, and the second one I personally did take partial move to break even, so it was a risk-free straight away. A lot of the guys just closed out in full because news was coming and we wanted to get out of this trade. Plus, we had a lot of emotion in this trade and can make you think differently. The real test today was when you're seeing all this, emotion does get involved, which you can't let it, because you start thinking irrational, where you want to get out of the trade, when really, if you take what you think's going to happen or what you think might happen out of it and just act upon what you see, at no point really did price tell us or show us that it was going back up. It was always showing it was coming down, like I say, with the nest plays, the breakout on the lower time frames and things like that. So we're always coming back to this zone. Now, the reason why it did all this is because of the volume. We had direction, but we didn't have volume, and we need volume to trade this. Now, it didn't take us long to get stopped out at break even, so we are actually risk free at this point. I believe it took us out straight away. So we had me personally, I was up $300 on this account. Now, what actually happened from here then is, obviously we were out the trade. That's it. We were done for the day. Long morning, and we'd been streaming for about 4 hours, 4.5 hours maybe. Yeah, so it was a long one. I'm normally done before 10, 11 o'clock. That's when I'm normally done by. 11 max, really. So we called it a day, but what we did notice, I'm just going to show you on Trading View, is that look what price done on the 5 minutes. So on Trading View, these are our 2 trades. This is our take partial move to break even. As you can see, the next 5 came up and stopped us out at break even. And let me just show you what price done from here. Next candle. Next candle. So at this point, look at the precision what we've done here. We literally got out, took partial, bang on that zone where price is reversed from. Now, it did actually come back down. It did come into profit a tad, I believe, back to that zone. But then, at this point, this is where news came in. And as you can see, price, and if I just zoom out, you can see price came straight up. So, the precision in our zones and where to take partial to move to break even is very, very vital. Sometimes it's close, but unfortunately that's what you've got to do with this method. Take partial, move to break even. That's the importance of doing it, because price can just reverse on you like that. Okay guys, so other than that, a lovely trading session. We learned loads, a tough one, but we like tough ones because that's how you learn more. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.